My clock stopped working earlier today. Should I be worried? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, I'm a geek, and you are watching Kevin the Geek. And this is time for another Doctor Who review. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, please do go back and check them out. They are on a playlist on my channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. There are 10 different categories. I give a score out of 10 to score each episode, to give it an overall score out of 100 so I can rank the episodes properly. But let's get started with the girl in the fireplace.
Hi everyone, this is Future Kevin here. Just a quick little apology. I didn't realise that I repeatedly said the wrong name throughout the video where I called Renette Marie Antoinette. So apologies for that. I don't want to have to record the entire video again. But yeah, apologies for the mistake on my behalf.
Now, the story had a really interesting concept in this episode. You are on a spaceship in the far-flung future, but in different rooms, you have glimpses into the past of sort of Renaissance France in sort of, the 1700s. And it is a really interesting concept, particularly when you realise that this is all focusing around the life of a particular person. And I really like it. They do it really, really well. And both of the sets look gorgeous. They really, really do. Particularly, obviously, when they have to build the sets in a way that you can literally have both kind of the sort of French early classic period and the far-flung future literally on one side of a wall. So you can do the whole revolving thing with the fireplace. And they went to such great lengths with the costumes as well. They look absolutely wonderful. And these big puffy dresses, and the hair looked great as well. So really good top notches. This is what I always say. I like the historical episodes because of these kind of things. And the other thing with this that, again, I've mentioned on the channel, I'm not a big fan of episodes where they focus on a historical figure. And in this one, it didn't feel so much that she was a big, massive historical figure. Maybe that's because I don't think of her as a famous kind of figure in history. It's not really something that was really taught to me. I know the general basics of her, but that's really about it. So I actually got a little bit of context from the episode, which is nice because that was how Doctor Who was originally started, as a show to teach kids about history and science and various bits and bobs, back in the 60s. But there is a great dynamic, I think, here between the Doctor and Marie Antoinette. But Sophia Myles is a fantastic actress, and she was, like, if any of you have ever watched that really awful Thunderbirds live-action movie, she was one of the bright spots from that movie when she played Lady Penelope. So really good actress, and I think really good choice. And she had incredible chemistry with David Tennant, which is not surprising considering they were actually dating each other. I don't know if they kind of started dating because of this episode, or they got together and then she was cast in this. I don't know. I don't know when it happened, but like I said, it makes sense that they had really good chemistry here. And Rose and Mickey had great chemistry in this episode too, in a way that I don't really think I've seen properly since the very first episode, with the introduction of Rose. And you saw them at the start where they're having their banter before she meets the Doctor. And it was nice to see them go back to their sort of fun and friendly kind of relationship and not be so hung up on all the little things, So really good job there. The villains of the piece with the clockwork kind of droids, I like them. I really like the design of them and how creepy they were. when they're in, with the full masks and everything. But then, similarly to the Doctor, when I saw that they were actually like clockwork, I mean, I agree, they're beautiful. Yeah, and to know that they're practical effects, I mean, the attention to detail and the skill to create those was really, really fantastic. And of course, it enabled them to have this fun little scene with the Doctor when he comes back and pretends to be drunk and he's dancing around the room and everything. So that was all good fun. But the idea that they were basically killing the crew to keep the ship going, it's one of those weird ones because every time in kind of sci-fi they seem to suggest, oh no, unless they're literally looking to throw over the human race, they don't actually do anything to humans. They don't actively kill them or anything like that. It was an interesting idea, and it was a little bit freaky when you see like the camera with an eye in it, and the heart that was sort of wired into the mainframe. It was a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie. So the villains were quite effective, but again, I don't think they were really truly the focus of the story. The idea was that the focus was on Marie Antoinette. Now, once again, you have some incredible music throughout this episode, and it felt a little bit more classical, I think, because of the historical setting. They didn't make it too modern sounding, which I really, really appreciated. And some really great subtle undertones throughout the piece as well, which I really, really liked. The dialogue, for the most part, was really, really good, and I think probably the two best moments was first with Mary Antoinette, where the Doctor reads her mind to try and work out why the clockwork figures are trying to go after her. And her response to the Doctor when she kind of starts seeing into his mind, that's a really great moment.
Such a lonely little boy. Lonely then and lonelier now. How can you bear it?
How did you do that?
A door once opened, maybe step through in either direction.
But then also later down the line, when Rose goes to her to tell her what's happening so that the Doctor can actually try and save her right at that very moment.
There is a vessel in your world where the days of my life are pressed together like the chapters of a book, so that he may step from one to the other without increase of age, while I, weary traveller, must always take the slower path.
The idea that she has to walk this kind of the long path to see the Doctor again, that's really good. Because there are quite a few characters who have seen the Doctor before and then don't go on to see them again for a really long period of time. And of course, they have to literally get on with their lives. And you don't think of them in that waiting kind of holding period, particularly when they know that they're going to see the Doctor again. It's a really good, interesting thought process to have there. And finally, for the most part, I think the special effects were pretty reasonable in this episode. The one that always kind of looked a bit clunky was the whole bit when the Doctor broke through the mirror on the horse. I mean, that looked quite plainly CGI and a green screen and everything like that. So that aside, for the most parts of things, it was really good. Oh, and I really think I liked how Mickey seemed to be becoming a lot more confident in this, particularly with it being his first trip, because they could have played him off as being quite overawed with the whole situation, but I think he took it in his stride and kind of set into motion the idea of the things that are to come in the next episode. So let's take a little look at my scores for this episode. So, after scoring all of those, the girl in the fireplace scores 80 marks out of 100, which makes it a B+ plus rated episode. Now, some people do consider this the absolute best episode of season 2. I definitely think it is a very good episode. Do I personally consider it my favourite of the series? No, I don't. There are a couple of others that I, for my personal opinion, I prefer better. Does that mean that I consider that those ones are better than this episode? Again, no, I don't. Because for me, favourite episodes and best episodes are two very different things. You know, because I can really enjoy an episode but don't think it was very good. But I could think that one episode was amazing, but I didn't particularly enjoy it that much. So I'm very clearly able to make those distinctions, really. But what are your thoughts? Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you consider it the best? Do you think others are better? Whatever your thoughts are, it makes no difference. We all have our own opinions. Make sure you join me next week for the first two-part episode of the series, where we look at the rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But for now, my name's Kevin, I'm a geek, and you have been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.